I was curious about one thing, and I know we're going to get to him eventually, so why not jump ahead? Cristiano's performance was pretty heavily criticized in Italy by some, and pretty highly lauded by others. And then in the end, they reached sort of a compromise where they said, inside the box, he's absolutely lethal. Outside of that, it's 10 men, which a bit harsh, perhaps.
No, well,
Wait, they said this after Leverkusen?
Yeah.
It was his worst game I've seen him play for a while. In terms.
Really?
Yeah, Ronaldo in the first half there was 2 or 3 runs because I'd say he's a better player now than he was in his last 2 seasons at Real Madrid. That's how I've seen him play in the last year and a bit at Juventus. He looks a much fitter, much stronger. He's doing things that he did in the early part of his Real Madrid. He's going past people with the ball, he's stepping over, getting crosses in. He buys himself that little bit of time to get shots away. He looks more athletic. He's coming short and spinning in behind. He really is running with great pace. That wasn't the case against Bayer Leverkusen. 2 or 3 times Jonathan Tah outran him. Then when the ball came into him, he made poor decisions. And
Jonathan Tah's a pretty athletic young man,
yeah,
to be fair.
Yeah,
and
but it wasn't Ronaldo at his very
best.
best. He was getting frustrated. And he looked slightly, I would say slightly, he didn't look fully fit.
Physical thing then.
Yeah, it was a physical thing.
You know what's so interesting about this is that last week or 2 weeks ago, I was discussing the fact that ever since Ronaldo's arrived at Juventus, they've lost almost that ability to play as a team and more centered around how to make Ronaldo the best player on the pitch. And I've been a little bit annoyed because I thought that it comes across as, Ronaldo plus 10, right? On this occasion, while I agree with you in much of what you say, in the sense that, obviously he spurned 2 great chances, he doesn't...
I don't mind him missing the chances. I didn't think as though he was going to make the chances himself.
Yeah, he did look almost lazy on occasion, I have to say, I agree with you. But on a different level, the way that he was contributing to the team play, to the fact that he went back into defence and did a bicycle kick to save them, to get a shot out of the way. Firstly, wow, I love a player that does that. A bicycle kick is stupendous, but even better for me if it's in a defensive box. And I thought that was great. I thought that he worked really well with Higuain to help Bernardeschi score. I thought that for me, on this occasion, he at least tried to look for his teammates. He at least tried to play for the team as opposed to, I'm Ronaldo, give me the ball, I'll score.
But this is a problem, and I think you'll agree with me, for Sarri, because he needs his players to link up. He wants the front 2 to link up, or even if when Ronaldo's playing on the left, he needs him to link up with Higuain. And it hasn't really happened. It hasn't really happened when he's played up front with Dybala. But
it's getting a little bit better with both.
There was signs, and you mentioned the goal, Bernardeschi's goal, where suddenly Higuain and Ronaldo looked for each other. There was a 2 or 3, I think it was a double 1-2 before Higuain was actually looking for Ronaldo, but it went through to Bernardeschi.
Yes, it did, yeah.
And I'm thinking, that's what I expected to see. Because Higuain came into it all happened in a pre-season friendly against Spurs. Juventus were playing really poorly. Higuain came on at half-time, and suddenly Ronaldo and Higuain linked up. Higuain scored a great goal, and I think Sarri must have looked at that and thought, because no one was talking about Higuain starting the season.
No.
Not one person.
We should give a shout out to that, because it's funny. We've almost almost slightly been lost in the shuffle, right? So the season ends, Sarri comes over, and then Higuain kind of comes back like sort of an unwanted return of a gift. And the whole narrative in the summer is, what striker we're going to get, blah, blah, blah. And, is it going to be...
Is this Dybala's year? Is
Lukaku going to come?
But the point is, but at no stage was it, oh, look, here's Higuain. And Higuain turned down, they say he turned down moves elsewhere. Personally, it's one of those things that I don't know who really wanted Higuain simply because of his absurd wages. But in the end, they're stuck with each other, and he plays his way back in. I think it's indicative that the guy left out of the Champions League isn't Higuain, it's Mandzukic. I think very few people on July 1st
thought that
would have predicted that at all. So I think we have to give him credit.
Yeah.
But what I'm fascinated with is, and give credit for another thing too, this is a guy who really hasn't really ever produced in a front 2. He's always played in a 1 up front. I mean, maybe early on.
But
is it a front 2?
If it was Sarri's preferred, when he sets his team, not the last 3 games, but at the start of the season, when he sets his team up, it would be Ronaldo on the left, Higuain through the middle, and it would be Douglas Costa
No,
on the right hand side.
I know. But I'm saying the last 3 games, we've seen him in a 2, right?
Oh, right. Okay,
with Bernardeschi behind. Sarri's contemplating a 2 as a solution while Douglas Costa's out. I mean, I think we all agree that 4-3-3, if Douglas Costa's fit. The problem is nobody can do what Douglas Costa does. Yeah. Bernardeschi's a different player. Some people think it's still worthwhile. 4-3-3, and we'll get to that. But again, Higuain could be sitting there counting his money and sort of, planning the house he's going to build as soon as he goes back to Argentina in just under 2 years' time, right? But there really is a competitive drive, and I don't, we didn't see it at Chelsea, we didn't see it at Milan, or maybe we did, but it wasn't channeled properly. But I just think it's so impressive how he's gotten back.
Yeah.
He hasn't become Van Basten overnight, but I think it's also helped. Maybe it's even helped Dybala, because I know you're not the biggest. You're not the president of the Dybala fan club, Mina, but when Dybala has played with Cristiano as an alternative,
he's been good.
He's done it the last couple of games, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.